Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Beyond the watch. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Beyond the watch, the gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life, sometimes. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
Uncle Daddy.
We are live. How's audio sound?
Pretty good.
Audio sounds good. Preview of what's going on. Shout out to everybody tuning in. We got the whopping 1 viewer. Cream Team Hefe. Hope you're tuned in, my man.
We got 2 cats from Philadelphia on IG Live.
Is that Donato?
Yeah, and Lenny.
Donato and Lenny.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Brandon's old lady, Amanda. Congratulations on the baby, by the way. They just had a daughter.
Oh,
I think she's maybe 3 weeks old now. My boy Tech, I was playing with earlier. Yeah, he
That's
has
awesome.
his second kid. His wife Amanda is watching the show.
Is that his first girl?
First girl. Yeah, a boy and a girl. I believe. Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong, but first girl. That's going to be interesting. I was talking to him a little bit about it. I'm like, you nervous to have a daughter? He's like, fuck yeah.
Oh, that's honestly my worst fear. I know it sounds
It's
bad.
up there. It's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's
Well, having a daughter? Yeah, that or a kid that comes out retarded.
can't say retarded anymore.
Challenge.
Yeah, challenge.
Well, like, I mean, obviously, first things first is let's make sure, 10 fingers, 10 toes, nothing seriously wrong as far as medical issues.
They could check all that so early now. It's
What's
so
that?
crazy. They could check all that stuff so early now.
Or you could have a daughter that grows up to be like Cardi B, robbing innocent Johns,
drugging them and
drugging them,
and then hooking them up with trannies.
and then getting a Grammy. But Nipsey's dead? Yo, come on now.
Yes, 4-year-old boy and a 3-week-old girl. She says Tech's been doing well with her. I mean, I'm nervous. The whole squad, everyone that we play with, we're all like, we're sitting there listening to her, like, ready to go into labor. Like, are we going into, like, the whole team's like, are we having a baby? Like, everyone's all excited.
By the way, I'm fired up. I don't know what I'm going to say.
You're always fired up.
No, I'm fucking I'm fired up. I feel like it's game 7. I have the flu.
Jordan in the playoffs.
Yeah, Jordan in the playoffs.
In his prime.
I saw Reggie Miller today.
Random.
Yeah,
he's a tall dude.
You tall as hell. And
I
think he thought I was going to serve him, like a legal matter, because he's kind of shady. Reggie's a little weird.
Yeah.
He was with his 2 kids, and I went, Reggie. And he looked back. He's like, yes.
He was all nervous.
I said, Reggie, I remember when you went like this, because I grew up in New Jersey, and I was a Bulls fan, and all my friends were Knicks fans, and I remember you did this, and you had them shook. He said, thank you. I was like, that was everything, and it was.
So, Chris, you just gotta watch your chair.
Yeah,
right here,
I'm gonna be bouncing all around. I'm gonna be bouncing all around. I also saw Trey Songz on Saturday at the gym. I went up to Trey Songz. I said, Trey Songz. He said, yes. I said, the last time I saw you, I thought I was somebody. Me, you, Odell Beckham doing shots at Dre's After Hours together. You know what I found out? I'm a fucking nobody. He lost it. Lost it. He had a residency at Dre's, so I used to think I was like cool and like hanging out with him and shit. Meanwhile, I could give two fucks. Yeah. But Odell Beckham, true story, came upstairs, grabbed me, and was like, yo, come downstairs. Go down there. It's me, him, and Odell. Salute and shot. Pinnacle. At the time, thinking I was somebody. Yeah. I was a fucking nobody.
That's part of it, huh?
Nobody. Till I got Cardi B. No call, no show. EDC weekend.
Oh, man. That was
no call, no show. They wanted to kill me.
Big fail. EDC weekend. That's probably the biggest weekend of the year for them.
Oh, they wanted to fucking kill me. Got Cardi B.
Cardi B.
It happens. Yeah. Happens to the best of us, boys. Shout out to my boy Spencer. Good to see you in here, bud. My man Spencer's living the dream. We haven't talked a lot personally in many years, but from what I see on Facebook, he's just ripping turns in fucking Costa Rica, of like Nicaragua. He's a big surfer, photographer. Yeah, he's living the fucking dream. I got a couple guys like that who sort of like what happened, and then you find out they're like, oh my god, this dude's fucking getting shacked in Costa Rica or Nicaragua or Australia. I got a buddy who I was in treatment with who shapes surfboards now, and like when I met him, he didn't strike me as a surfer, and he just kind of had like a regular sort of awkward white boy vibe, and we started talking about surfing. I was like, this guy charges? He does not look like he charges at all. And he's freaking shaping surfboards now. He was in Costa Rica for like, I think a couple of years. He might even still be down there. And he's just got content all over Facebook of him just big cutbacks and just barrel riding. Oh yeah, sick, super sick.
Younger guy?
About my age, I think. Maybe a couple years younger than me. But like shaping, like you're a salty dog. You get into shaping.
Oh yeah.
That is the salt of the earth. All right, so thank you guys.
Yo, let's get this started, man. Play the Chicago Bulls intro music.
We're trickling in. Quick shout outs to everyone on Instagram. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I can't believe we got Uncle Daddy on the fucking Instagram here. You guys don't know who this cat is.
So we got the behind the scenes feed.
Early fan.
On Instagram. The show's actually live with all the effects in the back and the good audio on both YouTube and Facebook. If you guys want to support the show, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If you want to share the video, that's super helpful. But with that being said, I think the three of us, behind the scenes, Bill is not on camera, but he is present. He is he's a force to be reckoned with over there in the hallway. He's got my cat over there on his lap. She's probably the best cat in the world. But with that being said, before we get it kicked off here, if you guys care to join us, we're gonna just do a little quick get centered breath work meditation. And then we will get the show started. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let's count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. All right, we are live. Lost in the Sauce show. I am your host, Ryan Andrew Rhodes, a.k.a. Killshot California. And ladies and gentlemen, sitting to my screen right, I believe it is, he's number 2 on the show, but he's number 1 in our hearts. He gets better looking every single
Checking in
week.
at 212 pounds, folks.
He's down more pounds. The endurance is up. The paddle conditioning is in. He's ready for summer. He's even got a little bit color this week. My lovelier with every episode co-host, Chris Shea. Chris Shea, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm trying to watch my ego.
I'm sorry. I should start.
I'm trying to watch this ego, but I also think I shouldn't. But like, there's a constant battle in my mind on this ego, and it's like, no, the ego gets things done. The ego makes you money. The ego is who you are. And then there's the other pieces like, yo, relax.
Stay right side.
Stay right side.
Absolutely.
You can't be acting like that. But there's the other, you know.
The brain.
Great
is
people.
a
Kanye West
funny-
has an ego. Tupac had an ego.
Bro,
You know
Steve
what I mean?
Jobs. I mean,
Yeah.
the presidency.
I gotta keep this
Barack
ego
Obama,
going in a
George
healthy
Bush,
way.
Donald Trump, Bill Clinton. These people are sick
Donald
egos,
Trump.
but they do great things.
Yeah.
I think when it gets out of control, it's about finding that balance, right? Like pressure, ego. The big issue here is how do we differentiate? This isn't going to be a topic. This is just a random.
Let's just get into it.
But how do we differentiate ego from confidence or self-esteem? Right? There is that line in which it crosses over. It was defined by me, by a professional. This is not an original thought. That ego is based on insecurity, so it's more commonly used to mask and cover up things that we may feel less than about, as opposed to building genuine self-esteem and confidence and using that as a way of navigation.
Yeah, someone just said confidence versus being a selfish douche.
There you go.
Yeah.
That sounds like that.
I'm far away from the selfish douche, but I am I feel like I'm in like get things done mode and I'm trying to build.
Ready for the next chapter.
I'm like, you know, if I go to 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee, I'm getting it like this. You know what I mean? Like I'm so quick with it. Everything.
All right. So before we
You
get
know what I'm
off,
saying, Bill?
before we get off track, I gotta
Tap in, Bill.
We gotta.
Why the fuck is Jesse Smollett alive and they just killed Nipsey Hussle? Why is Little Xan alive? Could we start a kill list?
What do they call it? Deadpool. Deadpool.
Let's get a kill list going of whack rappers and.
Anyway,
That's where I'm
can
at.
I introduce Bill?
That's where I'm at. Start killing these fucking scumbags.
All right. So as you can see, this is going to be an interesting show. We are off to a great start. But ladies and gentlemen, you know him as behind the scenes Bill. He is more present than ever. He is not pictured and off camera, but he is here in our hearts. Behind the scenes, Bill, how are you feeling today, brother? The voice of God. He's got that ominous behind the scenes voice.
I'm feeling great, thank you.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
You don't even
come
get
on,
you
bro.
know,
Don't come at me like that.
that
This
was
show,
my-
I'm
that
not
was my
doing that.
God
This show,
voice.
I can't. I drove.
I'm doing.
I've been up since
I can't tell
5:30.
you.
I'm on gas. I'm not coming that way. We're coming hard.
I'm just
Give
ready
me
to-
something.
I'm ready to surf. That's
You're
all I
ready
can
to
say.
surf.
I'm ready to surf.
So behind the scenes, Bill got a set of new clubs this week. How you like the clubs? I know you said you might take them back. How you feeling?
You know, the clubs are great. I suck, but I blamed them on the clubs. Well, I didn't play too well.
Yeah.
It's yeah, clubs are great.
Blame it on the clubs.
Do you
It
think
must
it's
be the
like
club's
mental that like you're just not used to them, or
Yeah,
maybe like
it's
you
only
feel
the
like you
second
should
time
be
I
playing
played with
better,
them.
so you kind of wrapped it up in your head that you're not playing as well as you could be?
It could be many things.
Yeah.
Could be many things. Golf, as you know, golf. It's never one thing. If it's one thing, then it goes to something else.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
So no, love the clubs. I'm back into
Dude,
loving
we
them.
played 36 holes on Saturday.
I just want to ask Bill crazy questions.
36
I
holes.
interview you right now.
Interview.
No.
Well, when
I'll
we
get you
get
in
when we
trouble.
get into
I
some
will
topics,
I'll get you in trouble.
Yeah,
can't
we'll
get
get
me
into
in
some
trouble.
topics.
Yeah.
That's why we have Bill's on. That's why he's
Yeah.
mic'd up, because he's always got that.
Yeah, he's got.
Can't get me in trouble.
Okay.
I told my wife I'm
Hey,
like Howard
famous
Stern.
last words, bud.
Everything I only tell
Yeah.
I only tell the truth. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
I'm behind the scenes, Bill. That integrity is key.
It is.
All right, so let's check in. Let's get into a little bit over the weekend. Chris, how about you? I was out of town. For those of you guys who don't know, I
You're
was
in
out of
Mexico,
town.
not getting waves.
Yeah, I got skunked in Mexico.
Boom.
I'll leave that for my weekend check.
Yeah.
My weekend update. But how was it while I was gone? I know you guys did a show. You and Donato, I think maybe.
Yeah, we really didn't do a show. The week, nothing really happened. I went to a hockey game Saturday. That was cool. I saw Chicago play. The Kings went into overtime. In overtime, they play 3-on-3. They changed the rules, so it's wild.
I knew that.
It's 3-on-3 in hockey. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. I saw the Kings win with 11 seconds to go, and not really much. I'm debating with the social media. I'm really struggling. I deleted Snapchat. That was a big.
That
move
was
for
like
me.
a big, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
big
done
on
with Snapchat. And
Why? Before we go further, why?
Because I find myself just sitting on watching people that I don't care about, watching people making their dreams come true. It's like, what am I doing? You know, and Instagram, the only reason why I'm still on it is because I have people back east that I like to stay connected to, and Bill and the DMs. Like, I like to get DMs on news.
I mean, you're also streaming the show. I mean, it has some sort
exactly, and the show piece too. But
absolutely.
But what I'm having a trouble with. I just find myself scrolling and scrolling. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a zombie.
Yeah, I'm like, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, what am I doing? Should be running on a hill. So the week was missed you, man. You know,
it's good to be back.
Yeah,
Good.
You must feel fresh.
I do. I'll go into it a little bit. But,
yeah.
Bill, how about you? How has it been since since I was gone? Obviously, we checked in a little bit over the weekend, just playing some golf. But how you been?
I've been great. My wife's going out of town for a month.
You don't know what to do with yourself.
I
That's
don't.
a long time.
No,
that's where we need the sound effects of clapping right there,
it's
like
a
or a horn, like right there.
That's what I was telling my wife. I said, "Look, it's my vacation too."
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go home, get naked, sit on the couch, eat Cheetos. You know, make a mess and not have to clean it up.
Not too much soda though. We're working
no
on
soda.
Our soda.
I cut soda out.
Yeah, no soda.
Completely. I had In-N-Out today with no soda.
Wow.
I got a protein burger.
Would you get the pink lemonade?
Yeah, I got pink lemonade.
Yeah, it's got a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah,
it's
but
good though.
It's better.
Yeah, the In-N-Out pink lemonade's on point.
All I've done is water for a week straight.
Dude, it's crazy.
Lost
that
6
discipline,
pounds already. I lost 6 pounds.
If you can get rid of the sugar,
yeah.
Bro, I've had my own.
Go from here. Look, level.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my own thing going on with all that, with the fruit diet and trying to clean out my lymphatic system, the kidneys, the gallbladder, and dude, let me tell you, man, I've quit heroin, I've quit cocaine, I've quit every substance under the abuse which was physically addictive, except for tobacco, caffeine, sugar. Like, dude, talk about something to wrestle with mentally. I'm not sort of like some pity party. Oh, poor me, like I can't get off the Diet Coke. That's not what I'm saying. But it's such a different way, right? Because the brain is like, it's just a soda. It's not like, oh, heroin. No, that's clearly bad for you. Don't do heroin. Like, that's not a good look. But it's like, oh, can I have a snack? Can I have a microwave dinner? Can I have whatever it is, right? And just mentally having to push through those little barriers, because they don't feel like barriers. Like when you talk about drug addiction, mental health, like the barriers are so blatant in front of your face. Like, all right, this is a problem. We need to take care of this. But when you're talking about like snacks and junk food and sugar and coffee, and it's just such a different animal, right? But that's been a total. It's like literally started to change my relationship with fruit. I was like starting to like really resent fruit. And fruit is amazing.
I love
fruit. It's like the candy of nature.
Yeah.
But like I was just like, fuck the fruit. Like I've had nothing but fruit. You know what I mean? It was just too much. But I'm finding my way with it and trying to strike some balance, whether it's having a cheat meal here or that. I just don't want to beat myself up too much over it. I've clearly got some kidney issues that I'm going to need to deal with, and better to get ahead of them now than to have them manifest later in life.
Yes.
As far as my own longevity. But as for my weekend, man, I mean, obviously I missed you guys. I hate missing the show. The goal was to be in Cabo and surf, but I mean, I checked Surfline, everything looked good. I got down there day of, and it's 1 to 2. You know what I mean? I got in the water. I got 2 barrels body surfing, no fins. It wasn't necessary. But it is what it is, right?
How long were you down there for?
A week.
And so, are you a lounge by the pool type of guy, or you are an activity excursion type of guy where you have to be on the move, snorkeling? Like, I don't see you really posted up poolside for hours.
Well, it's beach. There's a private beach and all that.
Okay, so you just rack. You're just doing a hard rack. We call that a hard rack in Jersey.
So my goal usually when I go to Mexico is to spend quality time with my girlfriend and to go surf. That's really what I want to do. We got some good.
But surfing's a big piece, just got removed. So
yeah,
what'd you do?
Absolutely. Dude, I mean, I have an Xbox down there. I have things to do to keep me busy. You know what I mean?
You're just lounging, though.
But it's a quality time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Quality time in the relationship, and I think that's equally as important. My big thing is that like I'm a very much a lone wolf, and spending an extended period of time with anyone is a challenge. Family, friends, loved ones, girlfriends. It's just sort of something that I need to deal with and have been dealing with. So that can be a lot to deal with, right? It's just, you know, when you're with someone, luckily we have a good read on each other. And when, you know, she needs to go meditate or needs to go do this, like me time, I need to go do my thing. and then like I'm sort of like, hey, you know, I'm gonna go. Well, let's get you go run some errands, or just be by myself, right? Which is it's interesting because as you progress in a relationship, the next natural step is to get a house and get a dog, and okay, then are we going to do kids? And you sort of ask those questions. Absolutely, and that's a huge fear of mine. I just sort of like doing me, and smoking cigarettes in the office while we do the show. You know what I mean? And like having it my way. And when you share life with someone, it's just not that. That's just not the case. And if it is the case, that the chances are that you're in an unhealthy relationship. It shouldn't just be dominated by one personality type.
Can two lone wolves link up?
That's a good question, man.
You know, first of all, I love that term, lone wolf. I'll put that on a shirt that just says lone wolf.
I have a Van shirt with a wolf on it, but that's off topic.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but can two lone, like, you know what I mean?
So I think that there is some truth to the saying opposites attract, and I think in my experience, it's been nice to be with someone who's more extroverted than I am, to bring that extroversion out of me, because I have my manic moments where I'm high energy, I'm high frequency, and I'm go, and we're going surfing, we're going excursion, we're going snorkeling, all of that. But then I also have the like, I'd rather stay in and order food to the house because I just don't want to go anywhere. You know what I mean? So sometimes having that partner to who's opposite of how I am to sort of bring that like different version of me out is nice. But yeah, I think two lone wolves getting together happens all the time.
Speaking of manic, shout out to Chad and Elaine.
A shirt. My buddy's commenting on the shirt.
Ben Ho.
But
was Ben Ho the surfer's name? Ben Ho? Derek
Mason Ho.
You're talking about Derek Ho.
Derek Ho.
I think it's Derek Ho.
And there's Mason.
That's an old reference.
Yeah, that's who died.
That's old,
he died in that.
Yeah, Mavericks, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Derek Ho. But no, it's my buddy Ben. He's getting back into the choral game. So with that being said, obviously the huge thing that happened since we had been on the show last is obviously the Nipsey Hussle stuff.
Are you a fan? You're from your Orange County, West Coast.
I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I have all his albums and all this and all that. But I think similar to you, I respect the hustle. I respect what he did in the industry as far as his approach to the business side of it. Staying independent and maybe not having this huge rock star under a microscope career, but still being able to be financially independent, I think is something to respect. I obviously have heard nothing but praise from the community as far as his involvement, things he'd been doing for gang culture. But it is what it is, man. Obviously I jump in naturally into all the alternative theories.
Yeah. Well,
and we talked a little bit about this off air. But for those of you guys who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, Nipsey Hussle, great West Coast hip-hop influence, was gunned down in front of a store that he owned in a shopping mall. I believe he owned a strip mall. And this
he owned the whole block.
Yeah, this was on the eve of a meeting he had with the sheriff, the head sheriff.
Yeah.
Or the mayor or something.
I think police commissioner.
Police commissioner, to talk about ending gang violence. He had also been actively producing a documentary for that naturalist healer. I forget the guy's name.
A lot of positive stuff. What's
Dr.
the guy's
Abby,
name?
I believe.
Abby. The conspiracy people came out real early on Reddit, like, oh, Big Pharma took them out. And, like, I even go there. But we were talking about it before the show, is you kind of have to let things play out. And I think what I've taken from it is just it's another strong, powerful person that was taken out at an early age because evil manifested itself through someone from his own hood, which is really, really scary. And the fact that he owned his own masters, we've talked about that with like Prince and Michael Jackson, these powerful guys. He's buying real estate. He's trying to unite rather than divide. I'm not a Nipsey Hussle fan. Even though I first heard his music when it came out. I just don't really listen to a bunch of West Coast music, but I always respected him, and I think when things like this happen, and I'm not saying it's like 9/11, but you see how the local community reacts to it, and I've seen LA really take this one to the chin. Yeah. And it almost, I look up to it. It's just like, you're like, man, they really like this guy, and he got taken out. And Donato put it in perspective to me. It's like, imagine I went back to New Jersey, I bought a shopping center, and I'm pushing out my clothes, and I'm doing on my block,
Hiring your friends,
hiring
your
my
people, your
friends,
family.
and a sucker. Let's call him Ramon, because we had a Ramon in Jersey that was a sucker. Comes out and takes me out like that. That is just such an evil way to go out.
It's tragic. Truly tragic.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the whole city is feeling the pain right
Yeah.
now, and the grieving. I think you even said there might have been gunshots at his vigil.
There was like panic. I don't know if it was
There's
gunshot.
panic, there's fights, knives.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about guns yet.
People are on edge.
Yeah. But
You
like
know?
you said, that division, like he's trying to unite, and then this sort of evil. I don't necessarily want to subscribe to the conspiracy yet that the government took him out.
Yeah.
It's like Bob Marley getting cancer from the CIA. Like, I'm not there yet. But if you were to just like crack the code behind the scenes of light versus dark, there is a lot of numerological symbolism with the threes everywhere and the Masonic code. And
can I speak
there's
on
a
that real
whole
quick?
thing? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so he was 33 years old, killed on 3/31 on the 33rd parallel, which runs right through LA. And the pick 3 on Sunday paid out 333.
6 gunshots, devil's number.
6 gunshots, which is devil's number. 1 to the head, 5 to the body. So there's just, when you get into numerology, and I would suggest researching it on your own, it's interesting to see how everything ties together and nothing is just coincidence.
Yeah, it is almost like a code, which is crazy. And it's for even some who are really into it. And guys, this is all just information. Excuse me. Information that we're presenting, but we do obviously continue to advocate that you do your own research. But if you want some resources, there's a guy on Twitter who goes by Gary the Numbers Guy, who is like a numerology guru. He's like, not like, just to put it in like what we can grasp as like pop culture, to like gambling, like sports betting, like, oh well, it's on this day at this degree on these times, and this is the like. Then these people have to win because it's like a code. It's like literally the Matrix, like looking at the numbers and be like, oh, I don't even see red white girl, red dress anymore. Like when you're just looking at numbers. Yeah. But he's a really good resource. He's very highly respected as far as numerology. His name's Gary the Numbers Guy. And I'm a girl absolutely loves him.
She put me on to him. And what was interesting, like a half hour before he got shot, he tweeted, "Strong enemies are a blessing." And I looked at that. It's not like enemies are a blessing. When you say strong, that might not be physical. You know what I mean? Like strong enemies is something. Like, I'm not thinking just a normal person.
It could be energetic. It could
be, so like it's almost one of those things where they sense it's coming, and you get the answers to the test. So crazy.
Yeah. So check it out. So yeah, all our prayers go out to Nipsey and his whole crew, their family, loved ones, friends. The city's definitely feeling that loss for sure. Yeah. It's all over, just everything: radio, news, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. So yeah, so go take a look at that. If you guys find anything out that we hadn't discussed as far as the Nipsey Hussle stuff, we'd love to hear from you. If you want to comment now or submit a message privately via Instagram or the Facebook page, YouTube, whatever you guys want to do, we'd love to hear from you. Alternative theories, we love getting into our alternative theories here on the Lost in the Sauce show.
And with that being said, I think another Donato thing that he brought up was so we always tend to appreciate people when they die. So like making an extra effort to affirm people while they're here. I'd like to affirm you and thank you for everything you've done for me while you're here, in case you die tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like from the bottom of my heart.
Absolutely.
Like, I love you. Thank you for everything. I love the work that we're doing. Same goes to you, Bill. I tried to buy a bike from you and you gave it to me. Just one of the little things that you've done. So just I'm going to try and make it a point, because I'm in this go mode, to affirm those around me who I love and not feel corny about it.
Yeah.
For some reason, do you know where I'm going with this?
Absolutely. I mean, it made me a little uncomfortable. You just saying that right now.
Totally.
But I'm dead serious.
No, that's the programming, right? That we all sort of combat in our head. Absolutely. But it doesn't make it any less real. You know what I mean? The relationship that we've built, the work that we've done together is very, very intimate in nature, and the progress that's come of it is huge, is insanely impactful. Not just in your life, but in my life as well, right? I'm the tour guide. I just shine the flashlight, and obviously Bill's in the same boat. But it's true. After someone passes away, they're under this huge spotlight and all this showering of love, and oh, they were doing all these great things, and it's like almost like an unexpected death has now made them that much bigger, and they're obviously relevant. It's like, oh, boom. But like, why couldn't his message be heard as loud as it is now while he was still alive, right? All these different things that he was trying to do, all these changes he was trying to make, like, oh, now everyone wants to, you know, shine the light and be all supportive. It's like he was doing these things 2 days ago, 3 days ago, right? And like, but now it's in the.
It's just interesting to go through someone's catalog of life. Like if you look at him, and I'm new to deep diving into him. Just the name Marathon is really cool. He left us with that. You know, like life's not a sprint. You know, I think that's what I took from it. This is a motherfucking marathon. Mm-hmm. Don't give up. Keep at it. His last album was Victory Lap. You know, like it's over. He finished. So it's like, you know, it's almost like they're almost written to kind of go away, and he left us these clues that we're supposed to learn from. So I'm looking forward to going to listening to more of his interviews and music.
Yeah, the interviews have been good.
Yeah, the interviews have been. I mean, man, dude was on it, and everyone really liked the guy, from basketball to artists. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just big loss.
It sounded like he was someone who was true to where he came from, his culture. He was never someone who like turned into something else because of success, because of not just monetary success, but because of fame and because of having this huge music career. He sort of stayed true to his roots, to his culture,
almost to a fault, to where
seemingly.
Here's the deal: if you do make it, you can't you can't do what he did. Unfortunately, like you have to hire people to handle that and give back. Yeah, Jay-Z's not in Marcy fucking handing out T-shirts and taking pictures of little kids. Like,
absolutely.
And unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
You get targeted.
Yeah, and that's sad. By a sucker.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, we're going to get into sort of the meat and potatoes of the program. We got a couple good topics to get into. Hopefully, we'll be able to get into them all. But we had a good submission while we were away of someone who was. Do you want to intro the segment? I mean,
So I got a direct message was sent to me by someone that used to work for me, reaching out. Hey, saw the show. I want to chat, and I never got back to him. I don't know if I did it like on purpose. I was just like, I'm kind of busy. I never hit him up. Then he reached out again, and then called, left me a voicemail. Call him back. It's someone who I haven't seen in maybe 6 years. Good people. And he's like, hey, man, I'm watching the show, this and that. I'm struggling because I haven't hit rock bottom. He's going out on, every night, smoking weed, whatever. Friday nights blow, Saturday night ecstasy, this, that, and the third, strip clubs in Santa Ana. And he's like, what do? I want to change, but I don't have a rock bottom. Like, what do you do if you don't have a bottom? And I was like, bro, I had a fucking bottom. I can't really speak from what I went through, like job loss, losing cars, DUI, bottom, wanting to kill myself. So you bottom, building forts in the fucking backyard, bottom. So what, if you had any insight, I gave him kind of what I felt, and we can come back to that, but if you have any insight on how do you handle that?
Absolutely.
Because I've been there. I remember being there where I was like pulling all this shit off. Like, man, wonder when my bottom's gonna hit. Yeah. This is out of control.
Yeah, but you just felt it.
Yeah, I felt it. It was there.
It's like a train wreck. All those cars are piling up, and you're just like barely holding on. You're like literally the whole from the fucking the engine back is on fire, and you're just like you're like, we got this,
bro. I rid the motherfucker for I rode on the Fringe for years.
Absolutely.
And I felt like it now, but it's made me powerful because I'm like, man, if I could deal with that, this shit easy. Call it light work.
So I can definitely give some feedback. So some might argue that rock bottom is necessary to be able to get sober, right? To be able to enter a life of recovery, not just chemical sobriety, but a spiritual, emotional, psychological, physical evolution of oneself. That rock bottom is necessary. That is the arguably the most important part of getting into recovery. But I will say this. First of all, we don't know if this is problematic behavior or if this is addict behavior. There are many people out there who subscribe to problematic, addictive tendencies. I might even venture to say addictive tendencies, but they aren't full-blown alcoholics and drug addicts. They may not be there yet. That switch may not be flipped yet. But to define a bottom is a personal experience. It's something that you feel within your heart. It can also look like serious legal implications. It could look like lost relationships or divorce. It can look like huge financial issues. But for others, it could be just that simple. Waking up in weird places. I missed work. I called in late. I showed up late 3 days in a row. You know what I mean? I'm starting to put on weight or lose too much weight. And that could be enough to want to change. Now, does that mean that like they need to go to treatment and do all these different things and yada yada? I'll tell you this, if you keep doing what you're doing, yes, absolutely. You're on your way to defining a bottom and to looking like the rest of us looked when we went into treatment. Now, you're more than willing or you're more than able to stop the shit show before it gets that bad. A lot of times I've heard it described as an elevator, that everyone's got a different bottom and the elevator just goes down and down and down. You hear people come in, I had a bottom, and then I didn't even find out until later that that wasn't even a bottom. No. I had to keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. So it's our choice whether or not what floor we want to get off. Do we want to get off on basement level 1 or basement level 100?
I went to the bottom of the parking garage, said hello to Satan, got a good look at him, and came back up.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean?
And
it's a blessing. And it's a blessing, but it was like to be in it. And I sat around and hung out and watched and was like, this is wild.
So as we
you know
clearly,
what I'm saying, Bill?
as we clearly define,
I was
bottom,
looking up at him because I was
you were below
down.
Satan.
I was below.
For me, it was emotional.
See, what I think with a lot of these people is their intention. What's their intention when they're doing these things? Is his intention to feel numb?
Here's what he said.
Partying?
I got an answer. He said it's all he knows. He's like, we grew up in an environment to where this is just par for the course. So like that's all. And same with me. Like we started partying when we were 14. How do you go without hitting a bottom to changing? It is pretty tough because that's all he knows.
So the fact that we're even asking these questions is a pretty good sign that he needs to change.
Sutra.
Like now that the conversation has started, that means he's taken notice to his activity, to his behavior, that this is somewhat beyond normal recreational drinking and drug use. I mean, having a couple cocktails out on the weekends with the boys, having a couple beers, maybe excessively drinking during a football game, like although problematic, not necessarily a huge issue there, right? But if we're continually doing, finding and doing extremely addictive drugs, right? First of all, there's a huge problem with just recreation. You're doing a couple bumps of blow on New Year's Eve to like, all right, I need to have it to go out. I need to have it to socialize. Like that's addict behavior. But for me, like I said just a second ago, this was an emotional situation. I just fucking knew. They say like when you meet that girl of your dreams that you'll just know. Like I absolutely knew. I used to talk to myself. I would look at myself in the mirror and have conversations with myself about how all the potential that I had wasted, and that I had such big ideas for what I wanted to be, what I wanted to accomplish, and my life became so small that like, dude, I had cars, I had clothes, I had girls, I had money, I had businesses, I had millions of dollars in the bank account, and I was at a bottom because I was suicidal and I was depressed because all I did all day long is figure out how to get heroin and how to use it and how to hide it from everyone else around me. And that just wasn't enough. I could not go on any further. But to hopefully clearly give him some perspective, man, is an old school AANA guy would be like, keep going. Like you need a bottom to get better. Like I don't want to fucking hear it. They won't even pick up your phone call. Like go experiment some more until you hit that bottom, until the police come knocking, until your wife leaves you. You know what I mean? They think it's necessary. But if we're having alarming behavior right now, like it's your choice, man. I'm looking at the camera, man. It's your choice where you want to get off. How much repercussions are you willing to deal with? Because they are coming if you continue along that route. It's just how extreme is it going to get? Is there jail time involved? Is the family, all the people, the lives, the businesses, the job opportunities, your future? Do you need to throw all of it away, right? So, I mean, if we're already having the conversation, it'd be a good time to start taking some steps into correcting that behavior. And if you need help with that, obviously you're already in contact with Chris. Chris is in contact with me. We can all get in contact together and be able to lay out that framework. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily, oh, I need to go treatment. I need to go detox right now.
No.
We're not there yet. But if you want to make some corrections, we can help put that plan together. If that makes sense.
Yeah, what I did was I took a little bit from Jordan Peterson and I said, I want you to give him an assignment, do it a week. I want you to draw out what a perfect vision of yourself looks like in 3 years of you doing the right thing, and then draw out what hell looks like if you keep doing what you're doing. This way you have something to run towards and something to run from. And then we started with how his morning looked, adding affirmations, having him do I am. And then also I sent him the 3-minute patience pays meditation, which he did today. He texted me. He said, dwell in God. You know what I mean? Like showing that he did it and had him write out some goals. So I think he's just getting back to the basics, blocking and tackling.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know, where do you want to go in life, man? You want to just, if you think that's cool, going out to Santa Ana and hitting strip clubs and all that at 37 years old, and you got a kid at the house, and you know what I mean? You're renting a house, and you're not living up to your potential. I mean, you know, I couldn't realize that was bottom, but you know, there's room to change for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we are who we surround ourselves with. And if you see the people in your peer group running into these consequences, you're not just like immune to it. You don't just have the luck, the good luck charm that like that stuff's not going to come for you, or you're better than that, or you're smarter than that. Like, it's a reflection of what is your future or what has been your past. It is just how it is. It's like looking in a mirror. So our best goes out to him and his situation. If you want more feedback, we're more than willing to go into it with you. If there's anyone out there who's watching who's in a similar situation or has someone else in a similar situation, you guys got questions, that's what the show is for, man. You can submit them anonymously, like I said. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. That being said, I'm kind of excited about this one. Yeah. I got gassed up before we started talking about this.
This is good.
All right. So this one's sort of for the parents or the loved ones, maybe people who are in relationships with those who are in recovery or in active addiction, parents or close family members of people who are in active addiction or who have been. There is sort of a way to navigate these relationships, and this comes from experience from doing it completely wrong for many, many years, and sort of how we've gained some perspective. But we call it trusting a drug addict. That's the segment. But well, I get asked a lot, hey Ryan, I'm doing so good, I got this job interview lined up, I'm dating this girl over here, I'm trying to move out to get to this place, or maybe I'm already moved out, can you help me with a couple bucks to get my tires changed, or I'm short on the rent, or can you help me with my cell phone bill, or hey, I'm doing really well, can I stay on your couch for a couple days? Now, let's be clear. These are people who I'm talking about are men and women who have a very, very long career, you could call it, and pattern for being full of shit. Habitually manipulative, lying, deceitful, you fucking name it, lie, cheat, and steal. These are people who have proven to be untrustworthy for many, many years, right? Because of active addiction. That might not necessarily be who they are when they're in recovery, but they have been lying, cheating, and stealing for a very, very long time. Now they're ready to change, and they come to you and say, I need some help. How do I deal with that? I'm super excited you want to change, and you're doing really well. That's fucking awesome. Pee in the cup. Good for you. Pee in the cup. Because your past, all of your patterns dictate that you're full of shit. And yes, is it good news that you're coming to me saying that you're doing all these positive things? Great. But we don't have enough hard evidence that supports you being a changed person yet. We're open-minded to hopefully getting to that point somewhere, maybe even in the near future.
Ryan, are we letting them pee in the bathroom on their own with the cup, or are we watching them?
I need to see cock and balls.
Now, Ryan, could take me to court. Is there a device that looks like a penis? For real, I'm being dead serious.
It's funny that you're forming it as a question, because yes, there are ways to get around.
What are they called?
You can pick them up.
Wizinator. I mean, there's 1,000 different
Wizinator. Parents. girlfriends, husbands of wives of shady husbands. There are things called the Wizinator.
There's
It looks
synthetic
like
urine.
it
all sorts of
looks
shit.
like a penis. They will whip it out. They will pee. It's synthetic pee, and they will pop blues right after.
All right, so here's a good way to obviously, like I said, I want to see cock and balls.
Urban Dictionary.
For women, the same stuff applies. Like, you need to be able to get visual confirmation that this urine is coming out of their body.
And what are they going to do, Brian? What are they going to do though? What's the addict going to say to you when you approach them with
I'm
this?
offended. I can't believe you would. How could you doubt me?
And they're going to get angry, right?
Yeah. Any avoidance of them peeing in the cup to get what they're asking for
is a tell.
To me is a dirty test. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
So, are you firm with them? How do you approach it?
100%. This is a meet me in the middle. This is a textbook meet me in the middle. I need this help. I need to do that. Blah 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 blah. I got all these great plans. I'm doing all these great things. Oh, so Mary Jo, Susie, son or daughter. That is so good to hear you. I can hear it in your voice that you're excited about your life again. That you're doing all these great things. I really, really want to help you, but in order to do so, we need to rebuild some trust. And so what does that mean? What do I have to do? That means you pee in the cup. It's just that simple.
And you have it on hand, and you just have it right there.
Right there. No questions asked. And if they avoid it, that's a dirty test in my book. But with the afterthought, or at least with the explanation that, like, hey, it's not going to be like this forever, but until we repair this relationship, until we have enough evidence to say that you are trustworthy, this is how it's going to have to be. Now, for people who aren't in treatment, or for your kids or your loved ones who are out of state, there are third-party companies you can hire to do this service for you, who will observe urine testing. It obviously costs some amount. I don't know the amount, but if you can't physically be there to do it, someone can be there to help you do that and to help facilitate. You get that a lot. Yeah. A son or daughter's out of state, right? They're off doing something on the other side of the country. They need help for rent, and they probably do need help for rent. Like, there are people out there who generally need a break to get to that next place. But help me help you. Help prove to me that you've changed, right?
They're going to try and bulldoze you.
Absolutely.
They're going to definitely try
and they're going to run game on you, because they've been running game on you for years.
Bulldoze. We call it bulldoze.
For years, we've been running game on our parents, on our loved ones, on our girlfriends, hiding, lying, secret. Enough is enough. Cut the bullshit and pee in the cup for me. That's it.
Get militant.
And if they can pee clean, they're going to be fucking super proud of themselves. They're like, hell yeah, I'll pee in the cup for you right now. That's the attitude that I want to see.
I would still have no problem if somebody asked me to pee in a cup.
Dude,
I'm sober.
I have to pee in the cup for work all the time.
Yeah.
I love it.
Not a problem
Give me
at all.
the fucking test. You know what I mean? It's funny. I was actually sober. I was sober, took a drug test, and it was a faulty panel.
Me too.
I got
It's
happened to me too.
Yeah.
It said I popped for benzos. I've been sober for 4 years.
Happened to me too.
Yeah.
And oh, you're fucking getting loaded. You're getting loaded. Blah 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 blah. I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, take that urine right now that's in that cup and pour it in another cup. See what happens. Same thing. It was like Suboxone and Xanax. I was like, get another one. And then eventually it came up clean. And like, I had to stand my ground. And you know, dude, as someone who's like doing the right thing,
Yeah.
Remember you got the call when I failed mine?
like, dude, you're fucking getting like you feel like your whole world's is gonna collapse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let alone your business. I mean, my whole life is built around my sobriety.
Yeah. They had a meeting at the house. They were like, hey man, you want to come clean? I said, hey.
Yeah.
I said, you need to knock this shit off.
Yeah.
Are you being serious? They're like, yeah, man, because this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
That's
like,
sober
hey.
living?
Yeah. So they called Ryan. And you knew. You were like, that doesn't sound
Yeah,
like it.
absolutely. And I have my gut instincts too, but we as people who have lived this lifestyle, who've had these secrets for so long, we're very cunning. We're very manipulative. We're very seductive. And we've been running game on our loved ones for so many years that they just buy the bullshit. Yeah. Stop buying the bullshit. You are killing your loved one. You are killing them, right? We like to think that, oh, I'm helping them, I'm giving them a break and do this. I'd love to give you a break. Just meet me in the middle, right? And it may look like that test. It may look like me calling your fucking job you say you have. Does so-and-so work there?
I love that.
You know what I mean? Is he here?
Calling the job.
Putting a fucking GPS tracker on the car just buy you to get to your job.
Wow.
So I can hold you accountable, right?
I would lie so much, I would literally believe my own lies.
Yeah.
I would think I'm talking to you, telling you the absolute truth. just to get what I wanted,
Absolutely.
and really believe it.
Mm-hmm. I need
So,
a couple $100.
Don't
I need
trust.
this. I need that.
Don't trust
Blah,
any
blah,
of
blah.
us.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day,
It can be built, but it's in steps.
Oh,
And in the beginning, we're going to come militant with the cups. We're calling the job, and there's possible
Hey, really?
GPS tracking.
peeing in a cup. What's a big deal?
Yeah.
yeah,
Really?
what's the big?
What
If
is
you
the
don't
big
have
deal?
nothing to hide,
Yeah.
what's the
There's
big
no
deal?
problem with it whatsoever.
And then they go, "Why? That's so disrespectful. I'm proving. I'm doing all
They
these
get
things."
angry.
Here's your
That's-
follow up right
yeah.
to it. It's like, look, you have been running game on us, or you've been, son or daughter, you've been lying to this family, and the hurt that you've caused has, the result of that is the trust is gone. And we want to be to that point where we can trust you again, but that's going to take time. That's going to be it. There's going to be a whole process involved, and this is the first part of that process. This is how it starts. And they go, okay. And if they keep avoiding, no, that's bullshit, fuck you, fuck this, they're getting high.
Yeah.
Right? No one's that proud. I need $500 to pay my rent. And all I gotta do is pee in the cup, and I'm sober. I'm peeing in the fucking cup. I'm
All
not
day
gonna.
long.
No, fuck you, my pride, this, that. I'll just not make rent and get evicted. Hell no. They're gonna come and pee in the cup. If
Love
they're sober, right? That's what I say. Avoidance is a dirty test, in my opinion. But hopefully that helps you guys who are out there who have dealt with people like us, like Chris, like Bill. For all of those who are out there who are in active addiction, sorry, I just put us all on Front Street. But hopefully one day we can all come to the point where we realize that we're just trying to help the community at large. We're trying to help the loved ones of people who are closely connected to this community, and to be able to grow together. The game's gonna evolve again.
Oh yeah.
At some point there'll be some new thing and
That
some
doesn't
new
show
way,
up. Yeah.
right? And we'll be having this discussion again at some point about the new way to get around the system, right? We love it. We love cutting those corners. I used to, small story about my childhood. I used to spend so much time trying to figure out how to cheat on my tests that if I just spent the time
Oh, yeah.
studying, I would have passed the test. But because I'm sick in the head, I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna write the answers on my leg, and I won't wear shorts. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna write the answers on the back of my label for my soda, and I'm gonna peel it back. Or if I
Everything.
drink enough of it, I can just rotate it and see through the plastic and get my answers that way. And like just writing it all down all microscopically and spending all of this time. I remember I had a moment where I was like, man, I just put a lot of work into this, and like I could have just read the book, you know what I mean? But that's who we are as people, right? That is a snapshot, a peek through the window, so to speak, of how the brain works, of someone who's just, who's built that way. That we want to cut that corner, we want that break, we want to get by putting in as little work as possible. And if we can open our mouths to get what we want instead of actually putting in some work, we're gonna default to that solution every single time. It's just human nature, right? We're lazy. But with that being said, man, for those of you guys who are out there, man, maybe you have a story where you caught someone, or maybe you're trying to figure out if someone's running game on you. If you guys got questions, feel free to ask. That's really what it's all about. There's also people, I want to give a couple shout outs. There's people who are watching the show right now on Facebook who are much more knowledgeable than I am on this subject. Mike Gonzalez, for one of them. He's a guy who I've done a lot of my spiritual work with, and there's resources out there for people who have these questions above the Lost in the Sauce show, right? If there's a professional in your area or someone whose opinion that you take seriously, feel free to reach out to that person to get some additional feedback as well. With that being said, are we wrapping?
Yeah, let's wrap up. I would just throw it out there. Tomorrow, affirm 3 people that you encounter.
Yeah, tell your wife, son, daughter,
Yeah, whoever it is.
girlfriend, your cat. In my situation, your cat. Tell them you love them, man.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's a good feeling.
It's precious out there, and you never know when you're going to go. And it would be great. You're right, Chris. You're absolutely right. It'd be great to be lifting each other up while we're still here.
I might get crazy with it and add it to my routine, this affirming thing, and take it to a level.
So
You know what I mean? Like, I might get weird with it. I might get weird because I don't care what anyone thinks anymore. I'm done.
I'll end with this.
So I'm going to start true gas. Hey, bro, I want to let you know I fucking love you. How's that? And hug. 20-second hug, too.
20-second
So
awkward.
the endorphins are released.
The ass out hug. So I'll end with a quick story. And
I'll affirm everybody.
giving affirmations is
Starbucks.
Chris, if
Firm.
I may.
Sorry.
My little sign off. giving affirmations is so important because we never know what that person's going through, and if they've positively affected our lives, it is our obligation to let them know that. I was in a meeting once where this kid stood up and shared, and he said, man, like, he was a newcomer at the time. And he's like, I look up to a lot of people in this room, started naming names. And like this person, yada yada. Like I try to take a little bit from their program, how they're working, how they're doing. And he sort of like gave props, affirmed a lot of people in the room. A couple shares go by and this guy stands up and he goes, man, I'm 20 years sober. And until that kid gave me an affirmation, I was planning on putting a gun in my mouth after this meeting. I'm 20 years sober. I don't want to live anymore. And some kid said that I had a positive effect on his life and it saved him from putting a gun in his mouth that night. He had lost his job. He had been divorced or whatever the hell the new circumstances were where he didn't want to go on anymore. So you never know what people are going through in their day-to-day life. And that might be that little thing that puts them over the edge, that brings them back to safety of the tribe, so to speak. And you know, it does a lot of good out there. No, not everyone's gonna lead with that. Like, hey, today I was gonna put a gun in my mouth. They got that internal thing going on. Like, is it worth it? Am I enough? And it might be a simple gesture of like, hey man, you mean a lot to me. I love you. You know, we've done a lot of great work together, and like I care about you as a person. That can have a huge effect on someone's life.
Why is it so hard? Like
it's
me and my brother.
Because we're conditioned.
I have my brother. I love him more than anybody in the world.
It's intimate.
It's
Intimacy
so hard
is
for me to tell
very
you I
scary.
love you and thank you for everything
It's
you've
that
done.
and ego because you feel it's corny. Like we grew up in it. Bro, you didn't grow up at where I'm from and like, hey man, I'm feeling kind of vulnerable right now. You want to talk about some shit?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
what are you talking about?
It's so crazy to me.
You know?
Like I would die for him, no problem, easily.
Grew up on Christopher Moltisanti and these figures that were like hardcore. Not taking someone to the side like, hey man, I just want to let you know, like, I've been thinking about you and I'm really rooting for you and I love you and I got nothing but love. Just want to give you a hug. Mm-hmm. You know, swinging a Conan sword of affirmations.
Conan.
That's how I picture myself tomorrow, like this.
I got the sword.
It says affirm on it, and I'm just.
All right. So before we wrap up, I'm just gonna give a couple shout outs to those who are tuned in. We got, and if you guys are watching on Facebook, it's easier for me to see who's watching because it just gives me a figure in the corner for like numbers of viewers. But if you're actually watching, if you comment, then I can be like, oh, yo, what's up? And then if you have a question, of course, please feel free to leave it below. But we have we got my boy Ben, we got Amanda, it's my buddy.
I saw John Daly at the fucking Tony Robbins conference.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
Oh, I told you that. Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I didn't know.
That's my boy Tech's wife. They just had a new baby girl. Shout out to them again.
Shout out.
I got my boy Mike Gonzalez tuned in. My boy Jesse. Dominic Kachi, Russell's brother. Shout out to Dominic, man. I hope you're doing well. I've been hearing good things. I've been hearing mixed reviews. I'll be real. I heard a couple good things. I heard a couple bad things. But man, I hope that you're doing well. That's someone who I took under my wing while we had a brief time together out here on the West Coast, and I hear you're working hard and you got a good girl in your life, man. So keep up the good work. And for those of you I did mention, man, we appreciate the support, and we will catch you next week here on the worldwide Lost in the Sauce show. I'm your host, Killshot California, signing off. Peace.